Gigi, the Chaotic Maker, and I have kind of a mix of a Whip Wednesday and my August craft roundup. I had recorded my August craft roundup at the end of August, and then I faffed around with editing it and like didn't do anything with it basically, and since then I have finished like another project and started another one, so I figured I may as well just do a roundup of everything I did in August and where I am with my whips and everything, even though it's kind of, I don't know, we'll see. It'll be fine. So first up I have knitting. I have my ongoing long-term project, which is like using up some acrylic yarn to make a cardigan. I haven't made any progress on that. I haven't been prioritizing that, that's fine. Same with, I have a knitting project that is like knitting a hat while I walk. Haven't done anything on that, also fine. What I have been prioritizing is, if I can get it without dropping everything, my mum had asked for a scarf for her birthday, which was at the end of August, and it's not done yet, but she knows that I'm working on it. And so I got this cotton yarn in a kind of cream colour, and then this gold thread to hold alongside it. I'll put like the actual materials that I used in the description because I don't remember what colours they are or anything. And then I'm knitting this just plain old garter stitch scarf. I'm knitting it like lengthways. It's not going to be ruffly, it's just going to be flat, but it's kind of squished onto my needles. And I'm knitting it on needles that are a bit too big for the yarn to give it that kind of more open mesh thing. And so yeah, I think last time I recorded I had a little bit of progress on it, but I've done quite a bit more. I think I'd maybe done like up to here. So I've done quite a bit more and I'm quite happy with it. I'm going to do a little bit more on it and then it's going to be done. I don't know whether I want to do, like, my mum said that she kind of wanted tassels, but I'm not sure how best to do that because this gold thread is one of those where like if you snap it, it's got a white bit and then like the gold bit, and so if I cut it lots it's going to unravel and just end up with like white tassels, which I don't really want. So I haven't decided that yet, but I think I will do tassels on the end because she wants them. And yeah, I'm hoping to get it done possibly next month, possibly not, hopefully for Christmas. I'll be able to send it to her for Christmas. So that is my knit project that I have worked on a bit but not a lot. I also started a new crochet project because I was going camping and wanted something I could take with me easily, but that knit project, the yarn just tangles like if you put it in a bag or whatever, and so I knew it was going to be very unpractical, and the needles are wood so they'll snap easily, so I didn't want to throw them in my bag. So I bought a crochet project, which I got loads of this yarn. It drops Muskat, in, does it have a colour? It says colour 81, but it's this kind of orangey, peachy colour. And initially, I've got quite a lot of it, so I want to make like a top, like a t-shirt style top, I think. But I haven't found a pattern I like because a lot of the patterns assume quite a straight up and down body shape, usually without any like plus size stuff going on. And I am plus size and do not have a straight up and down body shape. I am a very like, I have quite narrow shoulders compared to the rest of my body. I do have quite wide shoulders, but like my body goes shoulders, like boobs, waist, big butt. And so a t-shirt kind of has to be able to fit all of those, or just be very loose. So I think I'm going to make it quite loose, but I started with a shell stitch pattern and I had the idea that I was just going to make it actually quite a similar shape to this. So this is more of like a straight line across and then shell stitches and then figure it out. And then I didn't really like how dense it felt, So I ripped that out and I've started again just making the simplest little, this camera doesn't focus like at all, but a little double stitch, chain, double stitch across. And so I've literally got like the foundation row and almost a row's worth of stitches, but it's good for the bust and things like that, so I'm gonna work on that, but it's not urgent. It's just there if I don't feel like doing anything more fiddly, and I'm still not completely sold on it. So if anyone has pattern recommendations for something that I could use a cotton yarn for, it's DK weight yarn, and that isn't like a sweater, that is more on like the t-shirt tank top side, but is likely to fit a plus size body, that would be great. Let me know. Otherwise I'll just keep working on this. And then I have cross stitches. I have 2 finishes from last month. So the first is, I don't have it with me, actually 3 finishes I think. The first 2 I don't have with me because they are, well, one of them I made a tiny little cross stitch Astarion from Baldur's Gate as a gift for a friend for their birthday because they love him, and I just thought it would be a cute thing to do. So I found some pixel sprite art on Google. I don't own the art or anything, and I stitched it up and I sewed it with a little like backing fabric that is dragon scales and put it on a little hook, and so it could be a keyring or bag chain or whatever. And I made it in one afternoon and I gave it to them that evening and they were really happy with it. So yeah, that was a good little finish. And the other one, I finished the plastic little covers, don't let the cats out or the cops in, cross stitch thing. And it's currently being framed. My housemate wanted to get it framed properly because it's going in our hall. So it is with the framers at the minute, and I'm really happy with that as well. For Astarion, I just picked colours that I thought would work, and with the cats one, I used some of the called for DMC and some just from my stash. And I have another finish which I do have here, which is this little pigeon in a little pigeon house, and it's for a friend who is moving house at the minute and really loves pigeons. And so I did this pattern myself. I found some kind of reference art that I liked and drew this myself and stitched it up and have stuck it in a little frame. I didn't put any glass over it so that you can get the kind of, I don't know how much it shows, but you can like feel the stitches, which I quite like. But it's just a cheap little frame because I thought they might want to frame it with something like differently or whatever. But yeah, I have done the pattern up for this and I have put it on my Ko-fi page. People say Ko-fi and I think it's meant to be coffee because it's meant to be like buy me a coffee. But anyway, it's on that. I have like a little shop on there, and what I'm going to do is the patterns that I do, I'm going to list for free, but they are pay what you want. So it's totally fine to download them for free. It's also fine if you want to give me a couple of pounds. It's fun. So this is what it's going to be. It's some ghosts on a rainbow background, and I also did this pattern. I've got a black and white version which I will show you as well. And so the way I did it was, you can get a black and white version. You can get, basically when you buy it, even for free, you get access to the rainbow background one, and then you get access to 2 copies of the black and white one, depending on whether you're using black aida or white aida, which I thought was quite cool. So if you're using white aida, you're filling in the black detail around the ghosts, and if you're using black aida, you're filling in the white of the ghosts, right? So I did that already, and then the rainbow one kind of assumes you're using white aida, but if you want to use any colour of aida, you can just fill in the ghosts with white. So I've got them all up on my coffee page, and I am working on my little rainbow ghosts. Like I say, I've done one little purple section, and I'm just using random rainbow colours from my stash. I did pick specific rainbow colours for the pattern, but because I'm not selling it or anything, I'm not using exactly the same DMC. So I'm working on that. I just started that today. And then the other cross stitch I'm working on at the minute, I'm most of the way through, I think, but it is the Hades and Persephone bookmark pattern from Plastic Little Covers, which I really love. I'm doing it, it recommends 14 count aida. I'm doing it on 18 count aida, and I'm doing it on black aida, and it's quite difficult to stitch. I'm not an experienced cross stitcher, I'm quite new to it, but this is where I'm at with it. These threads are along the edges, just ignore them because I'm going to back the bookmark, and so I figured if I'm sewing along that anyway and hiding it, I don't need to deal with them. So I've got this section's all done. This section has like a little bit more to do, so I think I'm probably about 2/3 of the way through it, maybe a little more, and I've got some unpicking to do because I messed something up, which is fine, but I haven't got around to that yet, so I'm gonna unpick that and then finish it. But these two should both be done within a month easily, and I'll move on to some other patterns. I've got some other patterns that I want to buy, but I also am really enjoying designing my patterns, so I'm gonna have to balance that and see like what I want to buy versus what I want to design myself. And then I also have two sewing projects that I worked on last month that I haven't done any work on since then, and they're both almost finished. So I need to just sit down and like blast through the last little bit, but I'll put up like videos of me wearing them as they are almost finished. And so the first one is a pirate top, like a bright pink pirate top, and it is finished from the outside, but on the inside the seams are all raw, and so I want to figure out how to deal with them because it's a fabric that frays a lot, and so it's really messy. But bias binding will be too thick for it, and so I want to try to, I don't have any more of the fabric left to kind of encase the seams, but I do have other of the same type of fabric but in a different colour, so I might just encase the seams in that or do something else, but I haven't really figured that out, which is why I haven't finished it. I did, I'll show you. So just to show you, this is like the inside of the shoulder has interfacing and then these really frayed seams, and so it's just not great. But I am quite proud of myself. I did hand sewn eyelets for the first time for the little lace up bit, and so this camera really doesn't like focusing, but they work. Which is the main thing. And so yeah, that one I just need to sit and finish it. Like I need to figure out what I want to do with it and then finish it, and then it'll be done. And then the other thing that I sewed is a pair of dungarees. I'm using the Tilly and the Buttons pattern. I think they're the Erin dungarees, the Erin overalls and dungarees, and they are really nice. I've made them out of the similar fabric. It's a very lightweight kind of floaty fabric, and so I wanted a pair of dungarees that were lightweight and floaty. I've got like denim style dungarees that I wear out, but I thought it would be nice to have some for just around the house. And they have pockets, which is nice. I did the pockets slightly wrong, I think. I think I understitched where I was meant to like top stitch or something, but that's fine, it doesn't matter. So I just need to finish like the waistband, not the waistband, the waist seam. I need to figure out how to finish it and to sew the lining into it, and then I need to hem them, and then they're done. I altered the pattern slightly. The pattern had the option of either having buttons here, so you put the strap down and then you like button it to where you want it to go. No, that's not true. It had the option of having a buttonhole here, so you put the strap through and then you tie it, or you could have two straps, like one on the front, one on the back, and you tie it in a bow here. I prefer the ones that tie at the front, but I did it more like the Lucy and Jack style of like a loop, which I think looks really nice and was really easy to do. And so yeah, the only thing I have left to do on those is to hem them, finish up the seams on the inside, and then they should be wearable. I want to make the pattern again with a different fabric, like a heavier weight fabric. I think they'd be really cute in corduroy actually, but I want to lift the waist seam up because the waist seam sits quite low on me, and it's fine for like loose floaty ones, but I think on a stiffer fabric it could be quite unflattering where it is, which I don't really mind. But if I'm wearing ones to like potentially wear to work or something like that, I'd like them to be a little bit more fitted, and I think just taking some off the top panel and adding some to the bottom panels would work fine for that. And the pattern's really simple in terms of explaining what it's doing and all that stuff. So yeah, that's been my crafting and my kind of whip roundup. I'm hoping to make progress on the knitting my mum's scarf, and then also on my cross stitches, and to get those two sewing things done. Sewing wise, I also want to make some more project bags. I'm like out of project bags at the minute, which is quite annoying. And I've got all the stuff for them. I've got loads of fabric, I've got loads of zips, can make them no problem. But I need to just like dedicate an afternoon and crank out maybe like 5 project bags in a few hours or something like that, and I haven't done that yet. And yeah, that's it. So like I say, if you have any pattern recommendations for the crochet top, I would love that. I could also knit it, but actually I kind of want to crochet it. I think I want like a loose mesh thing. I don't know. I would love that, and I'd also love to know what you're making. And if you want to go and follow my coffee page for free, that would be amazing too. I'm also on TikTok at the Chaotic Maker. I'm on Instagram, _chaotic maker, and you can also subscribe on here. Thank you. Have a lovely day, week, month.